comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
Happy Death Day to You. So Happy Death Day to You is the not long awaited sequel to Happy Death Day, and my opinions on the original Happy Death Day. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I thought it had a good message. I thought that it had good emotions in general. I liked the main character's arc in the movie, and as it stands, I would consider it a good movie, and I'd recommend you guys go watch the movie. Anyway, this movie looked like crap. I don't know, it just looked like, let's redo the entire first movie again, and yeah, I just didn't want to see this movie at all, to be honest. To say it looked really dumb, stupid, annoying, unfunny was an understatement. It looked awful. I was thinking worst movie of 2019, and now I've seen it, so let's talk about it. Alright, so first off, start out with this. The actress who plays Tree in this movie, I'm forgetting her name, was great in this movie. She's great in the last one. She's the glue that held the original one together and this one together. She's good in this movie. She was really good in the last one. And I really enjoyed her in this movie, to be honest. She's good at emotions. She's good at really freaking out, seeming really mad. I thought she did great. Alright, listen, you're never going to recapture the magic of a horror movie. Usually horror sequels don't ever work. Unless you're Conjuring 2, you're never as good as your original. And that pattern stays with Happy Death Day 2. Some people disagree with me, but I was not a fan of this movie, to be honest. If you enjoyed it, fine with me. I definitely rather recommend Alita Battle Angel than this movie. I wasn't that big of a fan of this movie, to be honest. Let's first start with this. You'll notice at the beginning of this video, I had no plot summary at all. Because usually I summarize the plot of it. Did not do that in this video. Why? Because I really can't. I mean, the best I could say is she goes back into the loop. Like, she goes back to Monday the 18th again and has to relive that day over and over again. But yeah, I can't really summarize this movie. There is actually no one arcing thing going on in this movie. It is a mess. It is a total disaster mess that is confusing, and the movie clearly doesn't understand what made the original Happy Death Day good. One thing I hate about the original Happy Death Day is when it tried to be a horror movie, when it tried to be really dark and intense. And the same goes here. I didn't like it when it was that. I predicted every jump scare wasn't creepy, wasn't intense. And sadly, this movie isn't looking to focus on the emotions as it is to focus on the horror elements or the science fiction elements. And let me say the science fiction elements were freaking dumb. I don't want to spoil anything that wasn't already in the trailers, but it is a really stupid movie, and I hated the way it was done. I thought it was dumb, and it didn't make sense, and I don't know. Wasn't Rampage or Fallen Kingdom dumb, but it was really dumb. To the point beyond believability. Because sometimes a movie can be dumb, but I can still believe it. This movie, no, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so dumb. That is so stupid. There's actually a part in this movie where, I'm not going to explain it, but you'll know what it is. It is the biggest cliche in movies. I hate it. It's so dumb. Another thing I didn't like about this movie is, like I said, the horror elements didn't work. Because I do not think the killer looks creepy at all. Who does? Who thinks that a guy in a baby mask looks creepy? It's not a creepy person. It's not creepy at all. Man, it was annoying. It was annoying how they thought it was creepy, at least. Honestly, I'm just going to be flat honest. I think I could have written a better Happy Death Day sequel than what Happy Death Day to You is. It's not a terrible film. It's good production-wise, I guess. But as a script-wise, it doesn't really know what it wants to do. It kind of wants to be a science fiction movie. It kind of wants to focus on the emotions that the original one focused on. It doesn't really know what to do, and I think I could have written a better Happy Death Day sequel. Honestly. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm being too ambitious here, but there's a good chance that I could have written a better Happy Death Day sequel. And I don't mean in the dialogue and stuff, I mainly mean in the overarching plot of the movie. I think I could have written something better. Oh yeah, also, another thing I'm just going to say about this movie, the first one I enjoyed wasn't the most enjoyable thing ever, but it was enjoyable, and I'm just going to be honest, I think if I were to compare how much I enjoyed, my enjoyability in the movie, and how bored I think I was more bored than I was enjoying it. I found myself quite bored a lot in this movie. Like, a lot of times in the movie, I was kind of bored at the very beginning. Pretty bored. Then the movie gets a bit less boring, but it's still kind of boring. It's kind of doing the same thing the original one did. It's kind of just going back and forth. Just shows her doing funny things, showing her YOLO and stuff. That's what a lot of this movie's doing. And it's kind of annoying, and it wasn't very funny. And yeah. It does leave off with a good message. I liked the ending of this movie as a whole, and I liked the way it kind of makes you feel. Then you're like, I like that message. That's a heartwarming message. And I liked... The one thing I didn't love in this movie was the relationship between the main girl and the guy. I mean, I know it's not supposed to be... I mean, the thing about it is the fact that she loving him makes sense. Him loving her doesn't. They've known each other for 2 days. So... One of my main problems with the original one is the idea that the movie... This is kind of a spoiler for the original, but at the end of the movie... she lives out a great day. She's so happy. And she wakes up the next day. Relives the same day. And she's like, what the heck? Oh my gosh. And then she finds out the answer. I didn't love that. I didn't like the twist that they chose. I didn't exactly like the ending of the movie. I thought it could have been a lot better if they didn't do the day relive thing again. Because I liked the emotion in that movie more than the interesting horror stuff. And here, same thing. They don't really do it in this movie. But they kind of do. It's kind of complex. Anyway, it didn't bother me in this movie, and I think it could have been done better. Because in the end, Happy Death Day to You isn't a terrible movie. It's not anything that bad. It just didn't work for me, to be honest. I didn't think the comedy was all that funny. I wasn't enjoying myself that much watching it. It's not terrible, but I definitely recommend you go see Alita over this one. And if you have more money, go see Happy Death Day to You. Not the worst thing in the world. It's definitely not the worst movie of the year. But definitely not the best movie of the year. Probably in the 8 movies I've seen this year, it's most likely in the lower half, but probably the best of the lower half. I'm going to give Happy Death Day to You a 5. Note this, if I give a movie a 5 out of 10, that's not a terrible rating. It's not a great rating, and it's not that good, but it doesn't mean your movie sucks. Then if you enjoyed this movie, totally fine with it. I totally understand if you enjoyed it. I just wasn't a huge fan of the movie. Alright, I don't have any more reviews coming out this weekend. It turns out my review of the horrible movie, I went to Redbox. It wasn't there, so I rented Bohemian Rhapsody instead, because I haven't seen that movie in a month, and I really want to rewatch it before I review all the Oscar movies. I'm also going to try and watch Green Book before the Oscars happen, and Black Panther I'll watch before, because I want to really know the Oscars. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Bye!